The building was designed to have a fully loaded 707 crash into it. That was the largest plane at the time. I believe that the building probably could sustain multiple impacts of jetliners because this structure is like the mosquito netting on your screen door, this intense grid. And the jet plane is just a pencil puncturing that screen netting. It really does nothing to the screen netting.
Tons is a lot of force. People always talk about an airplane crashing into a building. And in 1944 or 45, a plane did crash into the Empire State Building. But the largest aircraft flying today, at least commercially, the 747, fully loaded, is on the order of 300 tons. So if you think about a 300-ton element crashing into a building that's been designed to carry 13,000 tons, you can see that an aircraft crashing into the World Trade Center would probably not do anything to the major building. It could affect localized structural elements, could knock out a column, and there could be some damage. But as far as a plane knocking a building over of that type, that would not happen.
But in fact, in plain English, the buildings were a piece of shit. Really? They were horrible. They were horrible buildings. They used a open wet car joist, which has 1-inch diagonals. It's like a high school gym roof. Mm-hmm. You can't spray them, and it would never have been allowed if the Port Authority had to comply with the New York City Building Department. They didn't have to. They were immune.
But like all the people that were designing it, that's what they would expect to see under those circumstances. Like it turned out the way that they thought it would happen when designing it.
They designed a building that was cheap, flimsy, and essentially a piece of crap.
The planes that crashed into the towers were 767-200s, and sometimes those are called jumbo jets. Well, they're actually not much bigger than the original plane that was in existence when the towers were built, which was a 707-340. They're actually fairly comparable. A 767 is slightly heavier than a 707. It has only a slightly higher fuel capacity, and a 767 has a cruising speed that is only 530 as opposed to 607 for a 707. Now, kinetic energy goes up with the square of velocity, so a typical crash event of a 707 would actually involve more kinetic energy, and the planes that crashed into the towers didn't have anywhere near their full fuel load. They only had about 10,000 gallons, according to official estimates. You have an event that's well within the design parameters of the building, and then the official story has that these buildings turned into dust and small pieces of shredded steel as a result of that.